telecast. I request all the guests follow certain protocol. And the program is over to Deepa Chaudhary, ma'am. Today, the moderator of this program. Please, ma'am, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I am Deepa Chaudhary, your host for this evening's session by World Peace Commission, founded by Mr. Rajarao. And here we are again on our today's topic, a hope for the post-pandemic future. For this session today, we have 4 speakers. Bangalore. We have Dr. Beatriz Lucia Salvador Bizotto. She's a scholar and international speaker from Vacaria, Brazil. And we have Mrs. Priya Sawant.
Where is the city?
She's had her international success, so she's a coach. I am sorry, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. We have Mr. Jitesh Khanna, founder and CEO, Cyprus Promoters Private Limited. He's a multi-awardee and entrepreneur, writer, artist. He's a public figure. I welcome all the 4 speakers for our today's session, and I hope it will be very insightful, very fruitful, and we all will have a healthy discussion on this. So let's get going for the theme of this evening, a hope for the post-pandemic future. So may I welcome and invite Mr. Ashutosh Sharma to share his views for today's session, please. Over to you, please.
Well, hello, namaste, everyone, and thank you very much, Mrs. Deepa. And I mean, I'm honored to be here, especially as perhaps the youngest one. And I hope that I would contribute with my thoughts, if not a long experience. Although, well, I'm the son of 2 entrepreneurial parents, and who take care of this company called Kanti Sweets. But I'm here as an award winner, probably for Model United Nations. So I would rather focus on what the purpose for which I'm here. Well, being the first speaker, I think I'm bestowed with the responsibility of setting the stage. So it's better to start off on a lighter note. As courtesy demands, one would start with saying, today we face a global pandemic. I would say that I'll divide my my speech, one can say, if that is so, into 2 parts. I think one as a student and one as a person who looks at global issues from a certain perspective. So when I speak as a student, I'll focus on face, and will say today we face a global pandemic, and face because face is something which is missing today as students, is what I mean. That's what I feel as a student. Not seeing people around you, and especially, I think that's what the teachers would also say. With all due respect to them, I think every professor or teacher who's teaching me right now is instrumentally contributing to my journey of acquiring knowledge. But with all due respect to them, it is certainly something which has become a dull experience for all students and for teachers, probably, because it is interaction creates a kind of it creates an environment, it creates an aura which all of us would like to enjoy. I mean, all of us have been to schools, and I think even Priya ma'am or Deepa ma'am, you wouldn't I mean, it'll be a hard thing to even imagine doing your schooling virtually, or your college virtually, but I mean, that's how it is. That's the fact of the matter. What I would say is, as far as the quality of teaching or quality of acquiring knowledge goes, there has been an impact. But those who are those who are really passionate about learning something, or doing what they want to, have discovered many interests of theirs which they probably didn't discover while they were at school or in college. For example, as far as my experience goes, so I was this person who used to probably be stuck to books and education curriculum. But since I got more time at home, and in fact the online classes, well, let's be honest about it, we although we are there in person, we aren't there mentally. So it did give me a lot of scope to maneuver my choices and think, and that's where I think I landed in doing Model United Nations. I've done many of them, and it's been a wonderful experience for me. And it also gave me a perspective to look beyond the individual, to look beyond the country, or rather, India is a country which is universal in its very design. uh, as we say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. In the world is one family for India. So as far as that goes, I think, not talking about much about not much about myself, because anyways the students are facing a tough time. Let them do so for let's say till the pandemic ends. But let's come to the present situation. uh, Here I would focus on global. So I would say today we face a global pandemic, because global is also something which has gone missing in this pandemic. And I'll tell you why I think so. uh, when I would not like to go to the origins of it, because again that is something which is which is very controversial, and it is something which seriously needs to be investigated impartially, although that's not happening. But that is one point which I would like to start with. And the starting point is where it begins, and it begins at the fact that uh, politics and globe and I think global games and geopolitics, in the vested interests of many nations and governments has certainly played a role in not giving out specific information or certain information about the virus from time to time, and that has happened. It is depressing that the WHO took a long time to rather come up with the accurate definition, or the real guidelines which we had to follow, because they were changing it from time to time. Leaving that aside, much has been said about India's response to the pandemic. As I am always a positive person, I think I would look at it in this way, because many of us have been looking at the pandemic in a manner that uh, maybe the globe has failed or the country has failed and things like that. As far as the international community goes, it has been not very not a very happy situation, because when we call this a global pandemic, when we call this COVID-19, uh, it was required that we show some spirit of universalism, which was just not visible and which is not visible even today. You have seen countries consolidating global supply chains, especially the larger countries, in their favor. Um, we are seeing that all today. And much has I would like to focus on this aspect, that much has been said about India export being the vaccine hub, which we really are. People have criticized India, saying that you exported your vaccines outside first. um, but there are some legal issues there, because India has been part of the COVAX initiative and the GIVA, if you're all aware of. And as far as these initiatives goes, India did have some contractual obligations, you may say, to to supply vaccines to many countries, especially to those countries from where raw materials are coming in. And that is something which we must be consciously aware of, because the developed nations have pre-ordered vaccines, and we haven't seen much of the distribution of vaccines to lesser developed countries, to developing countries and underdeveloped alike. um, as far as this goes, when we talk about uh, the vaccine initiative, let's look at, when I think when there's a multivariable problem, we must always look at it in a relative manner. And that's always beneficial, because if you look at things in a single minded manner, or in a manner which is completely completely constant or single variable, in that case, you will always, there are always faults, and there are always faults in every human being, in every government. And so as far as the Indian government goes, because we are talking about India's war on COVID-19. Um, Although there had been meetings by the leadership in February, by the central leadership in February 2021, about when cases were going low and vaccinations were just about to get started, that we must keep a check on uh, growing numbers. But I think the government might not have anticipated the magnitude of this pandemic. And let's be honest about it, me as a citizen or any other citizen, not only in India but globally also, when lockdowns get over, when things seem pretty neutral and normal, we obviously tend to exercise our freedom to an extent that we forget uh, we forget what we have to do. Because, and we have seen this in European countries especially, where after the lockdowns have got over, these parties suddenly spurge up, and you have people enjoying all over. I guess that let's understand the reality in a way that, okay, fine, there have been mistakes both ways, and it does happen in a although we must try to prevent it in a pandemic situation. But uh, let's rather think of solutions. The problem especially with our people is that we like to hyphenate the problem, and that's where the real problem lies. uh, this The COVID-19 pandemic has put pressure on healthcare systems throughout the world. Countries like Japan, which boasts of a robust healthcare system, is facing it. Um, Last year, the US did face it when India sent drugs and remdesivirs to the US to fulfill their demands. So it's not really about where people have failed, but rather sometimes you have to look at uh, the good things, or let's say where what we have accomplished, and what can we do to accomplish it further ahead, or rather to take it ahead. And this can only be done if there's a collective feeling, or a collective sense of unity, which is again something which the world has not seen. I was shocked because whatever it may be, I think we may argue on a gamut of issues. We can argue about many things, but double standards is one angle, I think, which people should not turn towards. Because I mean, we have seen, I'm fine with the virus originating from China being called COVID-19, but we have seen the lineage P.1 the lineage P.1 variant coming in, which was first detected in Brazil, being called the Brazil variant. I think Mrs. Beatriz would agree with me. And recently we have the B.1.617 variant, which is first detected in India, and we have seen it being called the Indian variant all over the globe. It's been, I mean, that's the problem. Um, it's more of a blame game which is happening today, which should be restricted. Uh, and yes, that is what it is pretty much. And looking again, coming back to the vaccine perspective, because uh, India has exported vaccines to around 80 countries or so. uh, and it is really positive to see that countries have come back with help. um, Although the media calls it aid, I was hearing this talk by the foreign minister of India, Mr. S. Jaishankar, and he very clearly pointed it out. He said, well, you call it aid, we call it friendship, and that's how it must be looked at. We have to look at the fact that uh, this is something which we have to collectively manage. And we have seen countries which have stopped the export of raw materials to vaccine producing countries, and well, they continue to do so and to consolidate the market in their favor. uh, I mean, you have business and politics happening all over, which is really deplorable, and it's certainly happening within India. We have seen toolkits coming up. I think over the past 3 months, we've seen especially two major toolkits coming up in India. People here would be aware of. Um, but that's the fact. It is unfortunate that you know when people face deplorable conditions, or uh, you know there are how do I put it, certain things which are not getting facilitated in a particular direction. There's always this pulling and pushing which happens around, which shouldn't be there. So I think, as far as India's war on COVID-19 goes, wars can be fought with technology, with equipments. You may have the best army in the world, you may have the best technology, and so on and so forth. But if your men or women are not morally conscious, you can never win wars. And that is what is required, not only in India but all over the world, this collective sense of being. And it's not only the world, but people of India can also learn from this, from the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which I specified before, that the world is one family. This is and yes, that's pretty much the situation. uh, and I'll just leave this with an example, although I do not want to give the example of my beloved neighbor. But people are like, okay, well, you couldn't manage the situation. Well, okay, fine, go ahead and talk about this now. I think there was one such comment over the session today. uh, and that I just went through this previous talk. uh, Mr. Mrs. Deepa ma'am, I did go through it. The last talk which you had probably yesterday, in which there was this person, there's this gentleman literally telling, this is the problem with everyone, and the Indian virus is is not being managed well, and that is the entire situation. That is the deplorable fact, that uh, we are not taking this in an objective manner. As far as the vaccination goes, India has done over 180 million vaccinations. This combines the population of France, Spain, and Germany, if I'm not wrong. And there have been vaccine shortages in these nations also, even though they have pre-ordered their vaccines. So, as far as the current situation goes, let's remain hopeful. Let's work together. It is really important to uh, to hold nations accountable, for not taking specific steps to ensure that the vaccine does not go out of their countries, as we have seen. Accountability is necessary, collectiveness is necessary, and ultimately the sense of unity, the sense of universalism, is what can help India and the world achieve victory over this virus. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful, Ashutosh. I am amazed the insights that you had, the moral responsibility of the citizens, and accountability, and we call it, you call it aid, we call it friendship. I mean, some of the few pointers that I took, but awesome, awesome, I must say. Thank you so much for joining us. It was very insightful indeed. And let me come to our next speaker. I welcome Dr. Beatriz Lucia Bizotto. She's a scholar and international speaker from Brazil. And let's hear from her about her views on our theme today, a hope for the post-pandemic future. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here speaking for India's war against COVID-19. And I hope I can share with you a little bit of my experiences and a little bit of happiness in these hard times that we are living, right? So the things can be confusing out there, but instead of fearing, we will we will be filled with hope and believe that all of this will make us stronger and more united. Social isolation is only physical. Nobody needs to isolate themselves mentally or virtually. Let's stick together and get in touch with our own self, with our I. Unfortunately, these are difficult times for everyone. We are going through an uncertain time when we need to avoid the street and human contact to ensure control of coronavirus pandemic. We still don't know how long this will last, but we cannot let the fear occupy our minds. It is time to have hope and to believe that better days will soon come. In the meantime, we will seek to find in our home that corner we choose as our own, a comfort and security time. Let's call the people we love and constantly remind them of how much we admire them and how important it is for everyone to take care of themselves. All of this will soon be passed on and will be part of a story lived by our generations. May we make difficult days a learning experience about life and ourselves. Let's look at this time as an interval of life and an opportunity to think and rethink that after that we are all more involved beings. To this day, it is difficult to understand why we are facing this fearsome virus, where it undergoes constant mutations, and our nurse doctors, tireless researchers trying to save lives, and most of the time putting their lives at risk. But as the poet Augusto Cury, a Brazilian writer, says, it was necessary. Unfortunately, it took a virus to slow the planet down and take us to dive into the most complex of all the planets, our mind, and encourage us to know a little more, including our fears and our smallness. It took a virus to cause an earthquake in our pride and to remind us that life is a unique, unrepeatable, and unmissable spectacle. It took a virus to realize the importance and fragility of our elderly and see that they simply gave us life and are an invaluable treasure for humanity. It took a virus for parents to wake up so as not to educate their children to be consumerists, to give them what money can never buy, their story. And know you have the opportunity to talk about your tears to the children and adolescents. They learn to cry theirs, to talk about their losses and failures so that they understand that there is no sky without storms and that they should never give up on life, even if the world collapses them. It took a virus to remind us of the fascinating wisdom of the master of masters, who, when betrayed by Judas, called him a friend because he was not afraid of being betrayed, but of losing a friend. Friends who were dear to him or her. And this small and invisible virus has now made us send messages to our friends who were at the bottom of our story. Please take precautions. Please take care. It took a virus to understand that regardless of social class, race, religion, sexuality, we are all incredibly human beings and that we should love more and judge less. It took a miserable virus to show us that the cult of celebrity in intellectual stupidity, that there is no difference between an anonymous person or someone who lives under the media spotlight, Yeah, it took a virus to show us that only those who are detached from it are worthy of power, who use it to serve society and not force society to serve it. It took a virus to be more careful with hygiene, to cook healthier foods together and eat less fast food as a family. The invisible virus, therefore, give us the opportunity to point out less the flaws and celebrate more successes of those who we love, because those who are a flaw finder are able to live with machines and not with humans. It took a virus to lead us to learn that there is a charm in the bearable defects of the others, to be lighter, to laugh more, and to our foolishness, boredom, and mania in this time of quarantine. This virus is terrible. It should not slaughter humanity. But since we have been shaken by it, we will show ourselves that we will come out much better emotionally, wiser socially, and more powerful intellectually. The lessons were given. Now we can only learn them humbly. I say patience and perseverance have the magical effect of making difficulties disappear and obstacles disappear. Strength does not come from physical ability. It comes from indomitable will that we have inside our mind. We need to take care of our mind and body as we take care of our hair, face, clothes we wear. Our mind needs a moment of reflection to think about our I in a spiritual way. We need to talk to the superior being of our universe. He has the answers, and he can come, it can come, calms down. The virus likes people who are spiritually fragile. We also need to take care of our body. The secret is in a diet based on products preferably made by ourselves. The simpler, the better. Water is the symbol of life. Drinking lots of natural water, eating fruits, vegetables, green leaves. Exercise our bodies. Our body needs to be in motion. Walk outdoors, enjoy the sun. The virus does not like people who have this habit. Dear people of India and all who are suffering from this biological war, you are not alone. We are part of this universe. Courage and a lot of faith above all. Why? To God, nothing is impossible. Perseverance and willpower have magical effects in overcoming life's difficulties. Whoever overcomes wins. A kiss in the heart of each one that is listening to me. And I really desire that Lord Shiva cover India and all of the other countries that are suffering so much with his blessings of healing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lucia. That was very insightful. Your views, I truly appreciate. Thank you so much for joining us and gracing the occasion for today's topic. So I next come to our next speaker, Mrs. Priya Sawant. Welcome, ma'am. She is she has international success. She's a coach. She's an author and a positive psychology practitioner, and hails from Mumbai. So I welcome Priya ma'am to our show session today, and please let us know your views on our today's theme, a hope for the post-pandemic future. Over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Deepa ma'am. And I really express my gratitude towards World Peace Commission and Professor Raja Rao for giving me this opportunity to connect with you all and expressing my views on this topic. Yes, as Professor Lucia rightly said, we are looking for blessings of healing. And as today's theme is, we have to talk about hope. We have to talk about the positive future. And as a positive psychologist, I would like to emphasize on the positive side of life. Ashutosh has also very wisely has put across his point. As a youngster, he has put up his views, and I really appreciate the way he has, expressed his views and whatever. He was very honest when he said the online sessions are, we are fed up with it, but we can't, but that's how we are getting connected in this time of pandemic. And I feel that, as we say, there is a blessings in disguise. This is an opportunity. That's what I see. See, we all are aware about this COVID crisis. We are surrounded by negativity. So I think let us not talk about this negativity. Let us talk about the better future, the prosperous world. And I don't think we are going to get this opportunity to transform our lives. This is the lifetime, once in lifetime opportunity we are going to get. We always script that we don't have the one commodity, that is time, and God has, given us in ample, and we are not understanding how we should spend it. So I think this is the need of this time is to use this moment strategically and creatively. The 3 points I would like to put forward, which will play a major role to come up and face this global pandemic situation, is one is positive mindset. We need to be, encourage positive thinking. Then secondly, we have to focus on this opportunity to rethink and reinvent. And third, we need to look for actionable ways to increase your ability to shape up the future. Because what we need today is the practical optimism. Accept the situation, be prepared for it, and move on. Isn't it? So this pandemic, it has given us lot many learnings. See, digital revolution has happened all over the world. We are, like becoming, even the what you say, the common man, he is trying to learn technology. And then on to entrepreneurship, uh, we are now understanding how to utilize and how to reuse and how to, make life better with limited resources, isn't it? So people have become, I think the entrepreneurs have increased, at least in India. People are coming with innovative ideas. They're coming with, brilliant ideas, and they're trying to save world. They're trying to, give a hope for future. And then yes, there's an increased sense of global connectivity, because everyone is facing this problem, as rightly said by Achutos, is global. It is not only us who are suffering. So we know what the other person is going through. And I think that has given rise to human values. The humanity has, the sense of humanity and caring, the love, the feeling of love that has been increased. And then yes, it has also increased our resilience, because we know the tougher the situations we are facing, we are going to emerge more stronger, isn't it? So I think this pandemic has made us learn the power of resilience. And yes, we have become more health conscious, which we were not. People were, busy with their activities, and they were busy with their life. They were neglecting the most important blessing of God, that is our health. And nowadays, people have become more health conscious. The health awareness has increased. And I'm not going to talk much, because there are other speakers too. I will just leave you with one sentence to ponder upon. That is, let us make world prosper. That is the acronym I have created. What do you mean by make? Make the world prosper means what? M stands for mentor. What we need to mentor our young generation with the wisdom and the experience we have. So we need to mentor our younger generation with the knowledge. Then we need to create awareness. Yes, this problem is existing. Maybe we are not suffering, but somebody else is suffering, but we need to be aware about other person's suffering. And then know the problem. Let us know where exactly the problem lies. We have to face the battle from here as well. The mental strength is also very, very important. And then empower everybody. Maybe it can be your neighbor, it can be your neighboring country, whoever you can reach, please reach out. Then the second word was world, make world prosper. So W stands for work together. Let us tackle this problem as a team. Let us come together and then let us outreach to every possible person and make the rural communities stronger, because the people who are staying in urban areas, we are blessed with the facilities. So what we need to do is we have to strengthen our rural communities, and then each one of us need to lead in best possible way. We should not be depending upon the government to come up with the solution. Each one, we have to take you have to be in the role of leadership, and then develop an ecosystem. Then next word is prosper. We have to think about progress. We are going to come out of this world, definitely. We are going to come out of this problem sooner or later. So we have to start thinking about progress of life, progress of better world. And then we have to revitalize our energy. We have to overcome the negativity which the COVID has, given us. And then we have to make the world sustainable. We have to make it more peaceful. We have to make it more eco-friendly. And we all have to rise together from this problem. So let us come together and let us face this problem with most strength, and let us make this world let us make this world prosper and better place to live for the coming generations. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Priyaji, for your wonderful positive message and your acronyms, and telling us that, and I truly affirm with that, what you said, that it has made us more resilient. Yes, indeed. I truly agree to that. And as you were saying, we have more speakers. No, we have last but not the least, my dear friend Jitesh Khanna. I welcome him for this session today. It is our first time that we are like this face-to-face sharing this screen today. And he is a founder and CEO, Cyprus Promoters, multi-awardee, entrepreneur, writer, artist, public figure. So let us know more from himself. Welcome, sir. So over to you.
First of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My heartfelt and deepest gratitude to Professor Raja Rao for running such a wonderful organization, World Peace Commission, to the very vibrant Deepa for such a long introduction. So first of all, the topic today was hope after the post-pandemic, So once the pandemic is over, what hope lies for human race? I was listening to previous speakers, and most of the topic that they were discussing was how the government is doing or not doing, or Beatriz very beautifully, poetically shared a hopeful future, and ma'am talked about a very practical kind of psychology, positive psychology. I myself suffered from COVID a few days back, and it was the mutant strain. I had continuous fever for many days. There was no hospital bed available. My oxygen went down to 90, 89, 85. And luckily, I took the right kind of medication. I took rest, and I was taken care of. And this is like a second birth, because that time when I faced it, I realized how bad the situation is. I wanted to talk very little, but from my heart. So that's why I wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation with everyone. The first thing is that when we say that lives have been lost, but this and that, every life is respect worthy. Every life belongs to some family. It is extremely tragic when one family loses someone. Grief is very, very silent. It is killing. Even one life that is lost because of the pandemic or somebody's carelessness is horrible. Second point that I want to discuss is I'm not a very religious person. I'm not a political person. I don't have any political ideology. I don't believe in any kind of political parties. I'm a humanist. All my life, I've been a humanist. And I believe that governments have to be put accountable for things that have happened. We have had super spreader events which could have been avoided. We've had, a lot of mismanagement that happened. Yes, we had a lot of vaccines to export, but we could have ramped up the production. We could have taken this as an opportunity to have more plants for vaccinations, more vaccinations to be brought quickly to India and manufactured, but didn't happen. And I'm not blaming the government for it. The root cause of every problem lies in human greed. Humans have this tendency to believe that we are superior than all other species. We rule this planet, which is absolutely rubbish. We have to coexist with every other species. The world has a way to fix things, this human arrogance that, this and that and nationalism and this, and we belong to this community and I can't look beyond that is what is the biggest disease. Coronavirus is a pandemic, but there has been a pandemic even before that. This very belief that we live in these boundaries and we look inwards and we are so-and-so country. I have never believed I'm an Indian. I believe I'm a world citizen. Ashutosh talked about Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Then where does nationalism fit there? It doesn't. Vasudeva Kutumbakam means that the whole world, Ms. Beatriz from Brazil or some other member from another part of Africa or the world, we are one tribe, we are one people. And if there is a God, there's one God for us. But that whole idea of believing that we are superior, we can exploit the nature, we can do anything, we can get away with anything. The politicians feeling that we can divide people and we can rule them, which has been a tragedy in our country, is the root cause of all problems. Having said that, I want to go towards a very hopeful future. I'm an optimist. I'm a relentless optimist. I really believe the choices we make right now are going to decide what the future is going to be. We can talk poetically about future. We can talk 10,000 different things. We can talk about positive psychology. Nothing will change unless the very human tendencies will change. And this virus has actually just shown us the mirror. No matter what we say about great leaders and great politicians, ultimately we are on our own. And every time, the whole world depended on the US, and every time there have been great crises, US just went inside and never went out. If you look at the crisis in the 1920s, most of the nation went inwards. Today, most of the nation went inwards. There is no world leader to take care of the crisis. People are very busy saving their own people. The only way is vaccination, then we have to really, really take it very seriously. Governments have to be made accountable. People have to be made accountable. They have to be pushed. In terms of future, I really feel that there are certain positive aspects that have come out of the pandemic. If you see, vaccinations usually take years to develop. Because of the pandemic, because of the sense of urgency, in a very short span of time, I would say this is a very short span of time for a vaccine. We had developed so many wonderful vaccines, so many great vaccines. Of course, they have side effects like every vaccine, but we accelerated the medical development. The greatest pandemic after the human greed and this human division and human self-centeredness is this, that lives are really going, humans are losing their lives all over the world due to diseases, cancer being one of them. And recently I read that because of this vaccine development, a lot of research is being going into cancer, and they're expecting a lot of cures that will come out of this. Another great thing that we can do is we are basing everything on AI nowadays, and AI is just developing at a rapid pace. I really hope in the future we can have AI-based developed medication. I really want that people should live longer and happier. Longer will be through medical science, through right diet, through right philosophy, through right thinking, through lack of wars, which again is the greatest evil out there. But another thing that I want is that unnecessary money that is wasted in monuments, in statues, in buildings that are not required should be used in making better, safer schools for children, so that in future, if there is another outbreak, children are safe. I really feel a society is measured by how they treat their children and their women. That is how a society is measured. It is a man's world, they say, but the truth is, it is women who run the world. They are the ones who are the BTS, the behind the scene people. They are the one who sit behind the curtain and run the show and make us feel that we are doing it. And children are the reason. I have seen people becoming better people. I have seen men who become better humans because of the children. So they are very essential. So can we develop, instead of useless monuments, useless things, we can develop better hospitals. And when my father was in the hospital a few years back, I used to pay a hefty sum of money every day just to save him, and still doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, and I lost my father. And that day I realized that medical science needs to grow leaps and bounds. No matter what advancement we think, it has to grow leaps and bounds. And one of the greatest things that will come out of this pandemic is this healthcare system will be revamped, redeveloped. Again, we have been shown the truth of the healthcare system. We have said, oh, we have the best. Look at Italy, forget India. Last year, Italy had such a major breakdown in the healthcare system. We had the same scene like India there. And today it is in India. And now they're talking about the third wave coming, which is very dangerous for the children. So what are we doing? We have to do it on the war footing. Talk is cheap. The politicians, the leaders, the bureaucrats, they all talk a lot. But has the action started? And the action will not start unless we have human dignity in our heart, unless we really have respect for each other. When I'm listening here to Ashutosh, I learn so much. I feel so proud, such a young boy, probably half my age, saying such wonderful stuff. Beatriz talked about poetically about stuff which really touched my heart. Priya talked about positive psychology, how to practically do it. Very short, very crisp, very wonderful. I am here to learn from them. If this human spirit of learning and complementing each other is there is no pandemic that we cannot overcome. I am here to talk about hope, and I'm sorry I digressed a little bit, because I feel that is the need of the hour. The hope is only the choices we make right now. I have suffered the pandemic myself. There was a time I was not very sure I'll survive or not. Running high fever for 4 or 5 days, no bed in the hospital, running low on oxygen, taking steroids, which are like a double-edged sword. And I just realized one thing that I've always realized, that something that I've learned over the life, the philosophy that I've learned, is that humanism needs to be established more than ever. Leaders should be made accountable. People who are running the show should be made accountable. And either they should change or they should be replaced. That is how things to be done. Even one life lost is a great major tragedy. Imagine hundreds of lives lost. I lost a few friends. I lost a few older people I knew, wonderful people who were absolutely fine. Yesterday, I met a young boy, 15-year-old, who lost his father first to coronavirus, and within a few days, he lost his mother. And I saw his spirit. And I completely agree with Beatriz. We humans have an indomitable spirit. We have been trampled. We have faced greed, persecution. We have faced the worst crisis in the human history. There's a saying that if you want to know the future, look back in the past. Go back in the past. Look at the human history. We have gone through so much and we have survived. The economies have survived. People are more worried about the economies. Yes, because there are a lot of people who have anxiety because they can't pay for the next meal. There are a lot of people who are anxious. Kids are anxious because they don't know what's going to happen for their future. Schools are closed. Initially, kids really enjoyed it. What kind of future are they developing? So this pandemic, the very root cause lies in human greed. It's in our lack of respect for human life. It is our isolation. It is our belief. It is our belief that we, as small tribes, can survive. We can never do that. We are one big tribe. We have to be together. I agree with Ashutosh. It is globalization. It is the time. But right now, what globalization is happening? If you look deeply into the political scenario right now, everybody's trying to save each other. They're trying to shift the blame. So my humble submission to everyone out there, as a humanist, as a person who really believes in human tendency to bounce back, in the sanctity of life, is simple. That we need to really, really do everything on war footing. For the hope-filled future, words will not work unless we take action. There's a saying that prayers are useless if you don't take actions. Everything is useless if you don't take actions. We have to really work in India on healthcare, especially like Priya said, on mental health. I have been lately meeting a lot of youngsters on Zooms, calling them up. They're going through major health crises. In India, mental health is taken as a taboo. Please change that mindset. If somebody is depressed, he's not crazy. He's just going through a lot. So we need to change this mindset. We need to make mental health a priority in India. We need to make dignity of life priority in the world. We need to make the world a borderless world. And I'm not saying finish borders and make it a world, one country. We need to forget one virus has came and taken care of everything. The virus has shown us our face. No matter, the highest form of arrogance is intellectual arrogance. The moment we feel we know more, we are very learned, we know all sorts of books, is utter foolishness. We know nothing. One small virus comes and just destroys our healthcare system. The science goes turtles. People, go into major depression. So it has just shown us the face that we need to get out of this human arrogance. No matter how many books we read and no matter how many degrees we have, they're just pieces of paper. Ultimately, how we conduct ourselves is very important. It's not your degrees, it is your conduct to the people is very important. So the hopeful future will only start if we change ourselves. The world is a reflection of our inner life. The world is a reflection of how we think and feel inside and act. The moment we change that, things will change. Wonderfully, it has been said that you can have any amount of laws, but if people will not change, they will not obey the laws. And that is what we require. For a hopeful future post-pandemic, we need to change the very basis of our thinking. The inclusion, the division of society, the division of caste. We need to understand these politicians may be good or evil, but ultimately it's their profession. And they are getting something out of it. So it is now people taking care of people. Let's not wait for politicians or let's not wait for anyone else. Make them accountable, catch hold of them, but it is us taking care of each other. It is us getting out of our lesser self of me and my family to thinking about other people. That is very important. Thank you so much. I won't be able to speak much because of my health, but this is what I wanted to put. If I've offended someone, I'm extremely sorry, but I came here just to speak my heart. And I hope that we get out of this human arrogance, this lack of dignity of life, and we go to a place where we realize that life is fragile. Any day can be our last. And it is what legacy that we leave, that is very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khanna, for your wonderful words, of course, and logic and facts combined with your experiences of life. In fact, these pandemic times are difficult. These are grim times, and the indomitable spirit of humans. I truly believe in that. And you say that actions, if words, if they are not blended with actions, then they make no sense. I truly agree with that. Thank you so much, and wish you speedy recovery. I could hear it in your voice that you are still recovering, but still you managed to take out time and had your speaker time slot. Thank you so much for that. We are highly grateful.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much. So next, I hand over to Mr. Rajarao for his vote of thanks, please. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. Today really we have something like a burning session, a session with full of fire. I would like to see the presence of Ashutosh Sharma. He's there. Okay, thank you. Beatriz, ma'am, you also there. Now, Priya Sawant, ma'am, where are you? Can you make yourself visible on the screen, ma'am? Before we say vote of thanks.
She's there. She's there.
She's there. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Because it is our pleasure to say thanks before. So Jitesh Khanna sir also is there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I would like to say vote of thanks to everyone whoever attended today. So today you made this a firing session because I expected this program could give us hope, but it's something different because we have discussed the facts. When facts are discussed, so you know what happens? It brings fights. So today it really brought fight to our session. But as Jitesh Khanna sir said, it is a need of the hour. So it's a need of the hour. We need that fight. First of all, I would like to start with youngster, future leader, Ashutosh Sharma. Brother, make Ashutosh Sharma.
Yeah, I hope I'm visible.
Brother, really, thank you so much.
Thank you
As you
very
are
much.
the opening speaker. You know, have you seen our Rahul Dravid in cricket?
Right.
He is a very matured person, very matured batsman. Just like you reminded of while you are speaking, you reminded us of our young days while we are seeing Rahul Dravid. So balanced, so maturity. Even though you are youngster, but you do not want to hurt anyone. That is clearly visible. At the same time, you want to convey what you have in your mind. Really great. You will have a
thank you very much. I mean, this is something which I feel it is my duty and every citizen's duty to be more aware and you know, to contribute towards the greater good of humanity. So thank you very much. So we'll keep learning from everyone here.
Great job, a great job. You will have certainly a fantastic future. You will become a good leader who can show a brighter side to this world, and you will be the torchbearer of this world. That happens. We'll meet once again in future days when you become a world leader. Thank you so much. Now, Beatriz, ma'am, where are you? Ma'am, we salute to Brazil. We salute, apart from Beatriz, ma'am, and we salute to Brazil, because today we received the love and affection from Brazil. Really, it's fantastic, ma'am, because you have spoken all about a small virus. But what a small virus can do. You have poetically explained everything that is really touching, man, touching. You have touched everyone's heart with your words about that virus. At the same time, you also touched the heart of everyone, those whoever are listening at this moment, and whoever going to listen to your speech, because you have touched the divinity of this land. That's so great, ma'am, because you worked hard to know about the things that are existing on this land. Thank you so much, Beatriz, ma'am. Certainly our love goes with you. Really, you are fantastic. Thank you so much. You have given, not for the future, but at the present moment, you have given hope. Thank you so much for your kind words and the kind poetic expression about the virus, what a small virus can do. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. My pleasure, okay?
Priya Sawant, ma'am, you need not give any speech, ma'am. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes. Because you are smile enough. Your smile radiates a lot of positivity. Your body language radiates lots of positivity, and the body language, your body language radiates a lot of positivity, ma'am. Really, you are fantastic. We loved so much of your speech, ma'am, because the moment you started from your speech, that smile, because not the words, because we can listen to so many words, but not the words. The way you have injected the words into the minds of people with your smile, your voice modulation, your body language, that's very important, ma'am. Really, you are so amazing. You have done a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Now we are going to introduce.
And everyone, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay connected. Jitesh ji, get well soon. Loved hearing you. Thank you so much once again.
Jitesh Khanna, brother, we cannot say thank you in our words, because words are not enough to say thanks to you, because you have spoken all the facts. But the problem is, if you speak all the facts in the present scenario, you will be labeled as anti-social element, because that is the present trend in the world, especially in our nation. So that is what happening, because we are not accepting the facts. We are sugarcoating everything. In the December and in the month of January, we ourselves declared that we are the Vishwagurus. So we were announced that we were in a position to save entire world. That is what announced by the Indian. But the problem is, when the dead bodies are floating in our holy rivers, we are saying that one film actress, popular Bollywood film actress says that these dead bodies belongs to Nigerian country. How pathetic the situation is. So we are sugarcoating everything. We have to accept the facts. We have to accept the facts. When we are able to export our vaccines to other nations and we can save the people in other nations, if we are able to concentrate and focus on our land and on our people, it is possible for us to protect and save our people as well. But the thing is, our priorities are not saving people, because we may save people after 2 or 3 months. That's a different. Because in the last time also in 2020, what happened? You know, we ourselves got that immunity to face that COVID-19 pandemic. In the second wave also that happens after 2 or 3 months, after the deaths of thousands or millions, you know what happens? Automatically, we'll come to a position where we can resist that second wave. So that is not. We have to help and we have to save the people, those who are with us. Because in these 1 or 2 months, I can see losing 100 plus people. The moment I open Facebook, I'm getting that much of fear to see the photos of people, because you know what comes on the screen. So that is what happening in the present scenario. So my request is, if the government's priority is central vista or people, if the priority is really the people, certainly we can be saved. But if the priority is monuments and vistas, building constructions, so the scenario will be changed. So anyway, I request the government of India on this platform, the priority should be people. So when we say the priority is people, we can make things on war foot to produce, because there are so many people. How can we produce 130 crore population, vaccine for 130 crore population? We can, if we have a proper strategy, if we are able to assemble all pharmaceutical companies, if we are able to share instead of looking at the profits, if we see it other side, humanity, is we can make it when we are able to bring all pharmaceutical companies on one platform. But if government has to focus on that side, but I think that sooner we'll do that. But before that, we have to save our people. Our government priority should be also the same. That is what I'm expecting. And one more time, I would like to thank our Deepa Chaudhary ma'am. Ma'am, even though you are unwell, you are doing fantastic job ever since we started this series, India's war against COVID-19. You are doing absolutely fantastic job, ma'am. You make everyone feel better in this session. That's why we like your moderation. You like the way you moderate this program very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So with this, I want to conclude, but last but not the least, Success World Academy founder, Nadia ma'am is with us. Ma'am, will you please share 1 minute with us?
Hi, everybody. Yes, hi. You know that I love your platform and I am here to support you. And this topic is very interesting, you know, how to handle the situation and to see this pandemic in the future. As you can see, every let's say approximately 100 years, humanity is facing a new virus. It's not the first time we are facing this kind of virus, you know. In 1918, between 1918 and 1921, the Spanish flu killed 50 million persons in the world. And we overcame this situation. The most important now is to be prepared and to prepare our children for the future. And the future is not tomorrow. The future is now. Because your present is building your future. How to face all this situation? Remember that we are all not immortal. This body will leave one day this planet. We need to be prepared for that. We need to understand that people have fears. Yes, people have fears, and it's normal because they are human. We were not prepared to this pandemic. No one was teaching us how to face this situation. But now this generation, we know because we are facing it. And our responsibility is to teach our children for the future, because they may face one day also the same problem than us. But we need to teach them to open their mind, to open their heart, and to go to use their unlimited power, the power of positive thought and positive emotion. And I can assure you that if you are using your unlimited power, you don't even need any vaccine, because you are healing yourself, you are healing your own body. You understand? So we need to teach our children, to explain them what is this pandemic, and we are here to overcome it, and to overcome the fears, because our fears sometimes are destroying us. Our fears are the cause sometimes of our death. For example, I have seen around me some people, they were positive. At the minute they got the information that they were positive, they start psychologically stop breathing. They started to feel problem of breathing, problem of that. But we need to tell them, okay, we are facing this virus. It's okay, no problem. We face it with courage, and when your destiny is to die today, it will be, you cannot escape. So the most important is to say, okay, I will die one day. I'm not immortal. This body is not immortal. This body is only the reflection of what I am as a spirit. I have the responsibility to take care of my body. When you are feeding your spirit with positive energy, with positive emotions and thought, the body will follow. You will start changing your attitude and started to take care of your body, changing your food. And this virus is really, let's say, the positive advantage of that. He's teaching us unity. He's teaching us the way, the change, to change our attitude, to be united. And that it's important that we need to teach that to our children. Then they will face everything, every challenges and troubles in their life. They will take it easily, and face every situation. For us now, it's to join hand, to change our attitude, to just love one another, and be and see the positive in every situation. And remember that death is reminding us how equal we are. We may be poor, rich, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, anything. We are all going to die. This body will die. And we have to be united in the spirit of love. The spirit of love. This is important. Love is everything. Love is the essence of faith. Faith in yourself and faith in this powerful energy that is above everything that we call God, and that it is important. Thank you.
Excellency, thank you so much for your wonderful words. Really a wonderful, fascinating concluding remarks. So with this, we are concluding this program. Thank you all the guests, participants, and our beloved speakers. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.